Carolina Beach is a quintessential American family beach destination. It's the kind of place where Jack Mackerels and Freddy's serve up fried shrimp and cold local beer. Located about 30 minutes from Wilmington, North Carolina, it's an 8-mile strip of oceanfront with huge new beach houses set up on stilts. When going on vacation, some people want activities and non-stop adventures. In fact, that's usually me, and there's never quite enough time in the day to pack it all in. But there's a whole separate kind of vacationer who just wants to relax. For these travelers, a vacation rental is ideal because of its spaciousness and its privacy. It's the complete opposite of huddling around a hotel bedroom or jam-packing a mini fridge. When groups come to Carolina Beach, the vacation's pleasantly straightforward. Sunny days at the beach, followed by evening cookouts on the deck. I'd been traveling non-stop for 4 weeks, and I'll be the first to admit I was in need of some downtime with my team. Had I done only that alone, my vacation would have almost surely been great. But thanks to a local vacation rental company, I left with memories that went much further than that. Its proprietor, Jim Kitts, reads between the lines. The term vacation rental can mean a lot of things. But at the very core, it's a movement unlocking a whole new way to travel. For years, I've immersed myself in the community of people leading this movement. And I'd like to share with you their stories as we rediscover hospitality on a whole new level. My name's Matt Landau, and this is A Sense of Place.
Good to see you.
How are you?
Good.
Take those off your hand. Look at you.
I got the, I didn't know.
You're so nice.
I met Jim the first morning at my vacation rental, Luna Sea, an 8-bedroom behemoth located directly front and center on Carolina Beach. Jim arrived, as he tries to do as often as possible, with coffee and donuts.
Whoa, they're getting fancy. Is that bacon?
Yeah.
And probably like maple
That's
sugar?
the Waken Bacon.
The Waken Bacon.
And that's the people that get busy with the Reese cup on top of it.
Oh,
it's
good
infused
God.
with peanut butter.
Most unusual was his path getting here. Jim started off working at the local sheriff's office, where his job was to walk inmates from their cells out to the rec yard. The biggest thing he learned from working in jail is that you don't want to be in there. At the same time, Jim was training to play professional football, and eventually he achieved the impossible and made it to the NFL. From the moment I met him, I could tell the common denominator between jail cells and locker rooms was Jim's style of shooting straight. Everything that comes out of his mouth, every gesture or action that you'll see him make is genuine. You'll catch it in the FaceTime he lends to anyone who asks for a few minutes to chat. You'll hear it in the way he speaks to everyone. When you're with Jim, good energy just seems to kind of follow you around. Reaching the NFL is quite the prestigious accomplishment, but Jim eventually decided things were not going to pan out big time. This kind of decision, if you think about it, probably took the wind out of him. But fortunately, Jim had married his high school sweetheart, Jennifer, several years earlier.
We're downtown. This is an official date.
It doesn't count if Matt's here.
Pretty much everyone describes Jennifer as one of the most motivating people I know. And it was thanks to her that the Kitts were able to call an audible.
We bought this business from my father-in-law. Jennifer worked for him for a summer. It was when we had our first child. So gave her an opportunity to be closer to home so she could be closer to the baby. Then after the summer, he mentioned that he wanted to sell. She said she saw a phenomenal opportunity, and I kind of fought her on it a little bit, and I'm glad she won. I'm glad she won.
Soon enough, they realized the greatest potential was actually in vacation rentals. But since there was no playbook, they innovated, and Carolina Beach Realty became a leader in its market. It's interesting how often I hear this story in the vacation rental industry, by the way. One door closes and another door with good instincts and a willingness to work hard suddenly opens. In the learning process, Jim and Jennifer would also be building a family, the foundation on everything that they now have.
And you know, I've really enjoy it. Obviously, just like with anything, it has its ups and downs, but the ups have tremendously outweighed the downs.
One layer to Jim's Carolina Beach is surfing. I got to spend the morning on the water with Jim and his sons, Parker and Colin. This seems to be a non-negotiable for a lot of vacation rental professionals. The ability to spend quality time with people you really care about. One of those people was Jim's friend Tony Silvani.
Answering the door with a camera to the face.
That's how we roll.
Tony's the 9th best surfer in the world, a distinction that serves as great marketing for his surf school just down the street. But beyond Tony's accomplishments, he's just an awesome guy. He'll encourage you with advice or let loose with one of his signature laughs. It's like a reminder that work and play don't always have to be divided. Surfing with the guys was one of those surreal vacation moments for me. This was something these guys got to do regularly together, every day if possible. It struck me as a simple but really precious way to live.
Monkey Junction. Hello. Morning.
What's up?
Hey. How are you?
You ready to knock it out?
I think so.
Since not all vacation rentals have access to private gyms, I like to ask my host where they work out. CrossFit class at Monkey Junction CrossFit was not your everyday workout.
So Matt wants to get into a weightlifting contest with me.
Yeah, good.
And,
so yeah, what we got together is a ton of heavy deadlifts.
Wouldn't it be cool if I just pushed out some crazy, unrealistic?
I love it.
Situated in this huge, open warehouse-looking building, Monkey Junction CrossFit is something Jim had only begun doing a few months back. And after burpees, the stationary bike, and this diabolical ski slalom machine, I found myself out of breath almost after minute 1. If there was one satisfactory moment in that 35 minutes of torture, it was beating a former NFL player in the shuttle run. I'm pretty sure I lapped Jim a few times, but I didn't have enough air for any kind of trash talk. Along with the other women in our class, it was impossible not to just collapse on the floor at the end. It was not a workout I'd ever have done had Jim not suggested it. But afterwards, it was all I found myself talking about for weeks to come.
We feel very fortunate to be able to give people jobs and be able to provide in that fashion. But at the same time, we feel very fortunate to be able to take some of what we've earned and to give back so that others have an opportunity.
Carolina Beach Realty has a two-pronged philosophy on giving back. The first means hiring only locals.
This is Kristen.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You too, Matt.
Kristen, nice to meet you.
And Jim and Jennifer seem to embrace that responsibility fondly, introducing me to a number of people who some way or another make a living from their business. The second prong is true philanthropy. In their office, you'll find thank you for sponsoring plaques from sports leagues, community events, the local animal shelter. Most small businesses put philanthropy on the back burner, but Jim and Jennifer seem to bake it into almost everything they do. One morning, for instance, I was introduced to one of their favorite coffee shops, Biddy and Bo's.
We're here.
How we doing?
Hey, we're here.
We're here, huh?
Hey,
You must be Grant.
it's Grant.
It's the kind of place that could cure depression simply through happiness.
Bam.
Everyone who worked there was so unusually positive and enthusiastic. We were greeted by Richard and then Matt.
You know Jimbo?
Hey,
Jim.
nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Jim.
He let us know that all the tips that week would be donated to the victims of Hurricane Harvey in Texas.
5 days?
Yes, sir.
We've got 2 weeks that we're doing it. So
Holy
that's the first
mackerel.
That is so cool.
Yes, that's amazing and stuff. All within this week.
This initiative was his idea.
You come up with everything.
He's very
Innovative.
ingenious.
Ingenious.
I also have a job title here called Director of First Impressions, too.
It's a what?
I have a job title here called Director of First Impressions.
I think that is the most genius job title.
Is the best.
Matt also shared with me the background of this progressive coffee shop, as well as a few fun facts, such as that 70% of all bottled water is actually from the tap. Biddy & Bowes was built with contributions that span the entire state of North Carolina and beyond, and I was really moved by my visit there. Since it's not really in a tourist area, the recommendation highlights the value of insider tips. The vacation rental professional who contributes the most value to a guest's stay is the professional who wins business and thrives.
1, 2, 3.
We definitely want to see the arcade. We'd like that to be like a feature.
Okay.
'Cause,
do you know the story on it?
Oh, I did my research.
Yeah. Well, I know you got it.
I read that Poppy was the name of your grandfather?
Correct.
And that he used to collect up tons of quarters
Yeah.
and bring them down to the beach and give them away to kids.
Well, to us.
To you,
kids.
okay?
Yeah.
And
Anybody that we brought.
and that the mission kinda of the arcade is to like preserve the old school arcade feel at the beach.
Pretty cool.
I learned Poppy's was closed for maintenance the week of my stay, but Jim said he could open it up for a peek. And much to my surprise, he turned up in a massive white van, the kind of thing that might transport a rugby team, with his kids and their friends who all work at the arcade during non-school hours. Getting unfettered access to a closed arcade is like every child's dream. And Jim giving us handfuls of tokens meant that the opportunity would be insane.
I'm trying to hold them off, but I can't lose for much longer!
Between shoot-'em-up dinosaur games with Gloria and basketball with Jim's best friend Matt, I literally had a smile plastered across my face for the rest of the day. The arcade isn't really a moneymaker for the kids, but it has its place in the local community, and it's something they can afford, so they do it.
We have very, very little turnover, so everybody in our office and our whole staff is like family to us.
And this mentality seems to apply to their vacation rental family too. On a brewery tour one afternoon, Carolina Beach Realty's reservation specialists, Kristen and Jennifer, mentioned they have a $50 credit line for anything they feel could improve a guest's day. They'll buy pizzas for returning service members, or flowers for someone they feel has had a hard week. I sometimes wonder what had happened if every small business in the world decided to be this kind of hub. Under those circumstances, it's not a total stretch to think that the world might be a slightly better place. On the last day of my vacation, I thought it'd only be fair to wander out and find a gift that expressed thanks to the kids in a uniquely Carolina Beach sort of way.
After the last couple of days, I've been able to see all this stuff that's going on behind the scenes that makes Carolina Beach Realty tick. And I wanted to make a little gesture so that every guest who comes and stays in one of these properties gets the right first impression, perfectly encompassing what you guys are all about. And I got you a little something.
Oh.
It's not a t-shirt.
Oh man.
Thought it would be cool if each guest over Easter weekend gets a little card and a little pack of coffee so that if they'd like to, they can go.
I made my way back to Biddy & Bowes and asked my fellow Matt for a suggestion on a gift for an extraordinary vacation rental host, a gift that would keep on giving long after I'd leave, the perfect way to spread joy with vacationers for months to come. And feeling all warm and fuzzy, that evening I invited over my new friends to the vacation rental for a final dinner. It's always a good feeling with vacation rentals, using some of that money you save by not having to eat out in restaurants every single day, to take care of the very people who have hosted you. We fired up the grill, popped open some of the cans from the local brewery. I made the potato salad my mom taught me in San Diego. And Jim and Jennifer went on to show us this magic trick that they claim proves that they have ESP.
Tim Tebow?
I want to YouTube this thing.
Was it?
Yeah.
And I still don't know how they did that trick, but I was content just to sit back and smile, because the kids seem to know something that the rest of us don't.
And I just want to say thank you, and thank you to all you guys for everything you do in our lives and everything you mean, and I mean that, and it's cheesy and impromptu, but I just feel grateful, especially with what's going on with the weather and all the things that are impeding, and people are displaced in life, and this is kind of the stuff that matters, and so it's a fun night, and I'm just glad that we can do that.
It's awesome we can all just like come together, we don't really know each other, just like bang,
Have fun,
have
yeah.
a ball, and laugh.
Appreciate
It's
y'all.
awesome.
So, thank you.
And play games and try to figure them out.
It would have been easy to reach the NFL, only to realize that it's not going to work out as planned, and pretty much spend the rest of your life looking back on what could have been. But the Kits aren't the types to lay down easy. In fact, things have ended up probably better than they could have ever imagined. Family, community, vacation rentals. Jim and Jennifer seem to have found their sense of place in the end. And something tells me this team is just getting started.